Okay, Charles, it's time to get going. So let's start the process. For anybody watching, there's going to be noise in the background. Everybody's here today, and dogs are snoring, and kids are yelling, and all the stuff. So, lots of noises. But that's the nature of the thing. Just the way it goes. These are a bit squashed. Right. Now you had mentioned that the stem needed a bit of work. That's okay. You can take the movement out. And there we are. Date. Surround. I just think that's so cool. Okay. Get everybody lined up here. There we go. 2, 3. Exactly right. There it is. Grease in interesting places here. I wonder if that's migration or just something moved that grease around. There we go. There's your chronograph wheel. Take a nice close look. Oh yeah, that's good. As we go. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put a bushing in here. It's pushed out. Okay.
Why would you do that?
Works. So simple. And yet does so much. And there we go. We're going to take your die fix out and do that with some higher magnification. And get this jeweled. And then we'll be ready to go into the cleaner. Get everything ready. Okay, we'll be back. We're back. Now, just want to point out, you've gotten some new pieces here. You've got a new lower mainspring upper port jewel and a new upper mainspring upper port jewel right here. Really nice. And we're ready to start putting pieces back together. yeah, looking pretty good. Excited to get this one to full health. It's a very clean movement. It really was nice. It just needs a service. Yeah, time for the moment of truth. There we go. All right. All right, there we have it. Okay, we're going to put this on the time grapher and have a look and see how we do. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and get started with some adjusting. Need a little bit of beat error taken out and some rate change. So let's start with beat error. Take a guess. Didn't make a small, yep, that seems about right. Okay, actually before we get too far, let me go ahead and demagnetize. Just to be sure. Okay. It's going to need a second to recover. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, looking pretty clean. Okay, let's see if we can bring the rate up a little bit. Okay, now we'll move our beat error a little bit. No, went the wrong way. How'd that do? Okay, let's see if we can get that spot on. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're doing all right. We want to look at that amplitude and make sure that's going in the right direction. Hopefully it'll jump up for us. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's drop the rate down just a bit. Nope. Sensitive, sensitive. Okay. Let's leave it there for a minute. All right. Wants to run back up on me. That's fine. I'm gonna chase it a little bit here. All right, I think we just need to let this get settled and break in a little bit, and then we'll come back and have a look. Okay, time for break-in. We'll be back. Okay, Charles, we're back over on the calendar side. We are gonna go ahead and get the final pieces put on so that we can get back to your dial and hands. Perfect. Okay, now it's time for dial and hands, and then we can get you back in your case. We'll be back. Okay, Charles, we are here at the end. We've got your movement back in your case, and we're ready to finalize the rebuild process. I wanted to point something out. After I get the calendar components put back on, I always go back and just recheck to make sure that all the performance is where I want it to be. And I was just not completely happy with the way things were running. It just, these movements tend to take a little while to break in. They undergo some movement of the lubrication, etc., etc. And sometimes it takes a little time. But it wasn't jumping the way I wanted it to. It didn't quite get to the numbers where I needed it to be. And I went back in and I realized that you had a bad balance. So I took your balance and all the components associated with the part. I put a new balance on, put a new your same hairspring. Everything else is the same. I noticed that it was very twitchy when I was trying to make an adjustment, and it turns out that has a lot to do with these balance pivots. So I'll return this to you, but you had a bad balance, and you can't get to the performance you want if the main component, which is doing the work of transmitting the power to the watch through the watch, if it's not doing its job, you can't regulate it. So that's where we are. All right, well, let's get the final things put in. Let's get these components installed. Okay, and with that, 6139 Phi Sports Speed-Timer. What a great watch. All right, well, let's have a look at what we've done. So we did a full service of the movement, and like I was saying, you know, as highly jeweled and as really beautiful as this movement was, I was expecting numbers that were, you know, in the in the 240s, and we just weren't getting there. It was just so hesitant, and I thought, you know, there's got to be something going on here. So went back in, took a quick look, and really looked very closely at your balance and your hairspring and all these things, and yeah, you just had a bad balance wheel. So I have spares, and so I put a new one in, and so you got a good one. Overall, that was it for real changes we had to make. You do have a new mainspring arbor port jewel, and so that, two of them actually, and so that bushing replaces that. Got some seals and other things. I went ahead and just replaced all the seals. You had some stiff seals in your pushers. I don't know if these were ever replaced, but they are probably from the factory. So those got replaced. I replaced your the seal on your crown. That was not correct in terms of its shape. There is a factory seal that you can put in. And there's your crystal. I'll come back to you. Now I went ahead and put both of your bracelets through the wash, and so that's just a sonication process. So they're ready to come back as well. Your Pogue is ready to come home too. So I'm not going to do a separate video on the Pogue. That was just something I was able to get done during the time of working on this watch. But now your day wheel, or day disc I should say, is exactly as it should be. It changes perfectly and it's nice and straight. I was also able to shorten your stem and get it reattached here to your crown. So now that's exactly where that should be. Of course, we can go through all the function of your watch. Let's click over the day and the date. Now that we're down here, we can do the quick day and date. So those are working just great. Again, chronograph functions as it should. So what a beautiful, beautiful watch. I'm really happy to have had the opportunity to work on this. It came out just spectacularly well. Both your watches are just so nice. It's so great to see these. And both are just humming along, doing their thing, running great. All right, well, Charles, thank you again. It's been a real pleasure. I'm ready to send these home, and I'll be in touch, and thanks for watching.